Finally, the video that everyone has been asking for. Just kidding, no one asked for this, but I made it anyway. So I have this fish tank and I wanted to turn it from a boring fish tank into something a little bit more dope. Now basically in this video I'm going to walk you through how I did this, how I made a naturalistic environment with just a can-do attitude and some liquor. And I'm inspired by these guys, so...
I'm MaxtheGrot.
I'm Max, and I have some fantastic beasts, and some of these fantastic beasts are fish. And one night I was inspired to transform one of my aquariums into something a little bit more, well, exciting. And I want to show you how I transform basic terrariums and aquariums into something a little bit more naturalistic, just using stuff around my house, essentially, basically free. Did you see that spark? Now who said keeping reptiles and fish isn't dangerous? I'm constantly on my toes around these guys. This basic aquarium has a few dope inhabitants. I've got a Bumble Bee Goby, a Pea Puffer, a snail, 2 Kuhli Loaches, and some other pretty dope inhabitants, but we're going to get there, First things first, I had to get all the inhabitants out. So getting the fish out was pretty easy in such a small tank. It's about a 7-gallon, but I had to get them all out because this was a full makeover, man. This is like Pimp My Ride, Pimp My Tank 2025 edition, man. Bring that show back. This is a full remodel, full-on makeover. Now this is a temporary home for these guys, and very, very temporary. Now, when I saw this, all this dirt, I knew there was a lot of work to do. Now here's a little hack for you. If you've got any old electric toothbrushes around, one of the best low-key algae cleaners.
I don't even know how I'm going to recover from that.
Now it was all hands on deck with all the cleaning attire I could get. Now, do you remember all that stuff I was smashing up earlier? Well, this is essentially it. This is all the substrate that I'm going to put on the base layer. Basically, I wanted to cover all the old sand and aqua soil and make like almost a river base. I wanted this to look like a slow moving river essentially that you'd see from side on.
Ah! We've got a breach! Someone's breached the surface.
Snails, man. So, once I did a 90% water change, I did keep some of the original tank water because I didn't want to completely shock the fish when I put them back into the tank. Very important. So once I filled that sucker up, I turned on the filter, and here we go. Let's get this cranking. Not all the inhabitants were removed, because it was simply impossible. This is the Malaysian trumpet snail. And for you experienced fish keepers out there, you know exactly what this is. This is the cockroach of the aquarium. But you know, for me, I actually low-key like them. I like snails, what can I say? Now these guys do all their damage at night. So you see they're heavily nocturnal, meaning that they'll hide during the day, and at night, they come out in hundreds. But you know what? I like these little guys, and they still do a job. And in this small tank, it's fine. And you know what? If you need them in other aquariums, I've got selection and plenty to choose from. Now I was fairly tactical with how many plants I put back into this aquarium because I didn't want to like overcrowd it in the very beginning. I wanted to put things in around the front and kind of split it out so it kind of looked more natural rather than just being super heavily planted and almost look too artificial in that sense. So I trimmed a few things, I planted a few things, and I put in some leaves. Now leaves and branches are one of the most simplistic additions you can add to an aquarium to make it look naturalistic. They also do a job. You see, the right leaves and the right branches and the right wood are great places for good bacteria to grow and feed your aquarium. My disclaimer here is make sure you do your own research on what leaves, branches and wood are safe for your aquarium and not toxic to your aquarium. You see, I'm just here to inspire and show you my own creativity and not exactly how to do things. Now, I'm starting to slowly put things back. The water's ready to go. It's a little bit murky, but some of the inhabitants are ready to go back in. Yo, so I'm back at the fish store because there's a lot more to the story than just a tank reno or redo. I came back with some new friends. And nah, it wasn't just these plants, but these plants are part of the story as well. You see, I saw these little red pines and I thought they were super dope, but there's more to this. You see, the new friends I came home with were some additional fish. And I'm not gonna lie, everyone looked pretty fucking excited for some new roomies. Well, maybe not Pea the Puff, but he's always grumpy, look at him. So I decided, first time ever, to try one of the most popular nano fish in the fish trade. This is, drumroll please, the Clown Killifish. Now I got a male and a female, and the reason I got these, well, first things first is they should do well with these other nano fish and the mix that I have and the environment I've created, with lots of hiding places, lots of nooks and crannies, lots of territories, lots of boundaries, enough vegetation, and I'm hoping all of this adds enough flavor and space for these guys to thrive in this ecosystem essentially that I've created. Now some of you may think I've overstocked this aquarium, but I think for this little 7 gallon I've got a nice little equilibrium and ecosystem going that should help these fish thrive. Now remember, lots of feeding, lots of live food, lots of hiding places. These guys should thrive. And you know what? It's been 2 weeks and everything's looking pretty fucking good. So why the Clown Killifish? Well, firstly, I wanted some top feeders and some top feeder nano fish, and I thought guppies might not be able to hold their own, and these guys are doing really well with holding their own with regards to their territory. So now that I've got some mid-range fish, and I've got some bottom feeders, and I've got some snails, I've got a nice little blend of fish in this aquarium. I added some Indian fern to the top of the aquarium because Clown Killifish are surface feeders, and this is going to make them feel comfortable and somewhere for them to hide. Now, food is very important for fish, guys. Color tetraflakes is going to make their colors pop, and live food is basically going to stimulate a lot of good natural behaviors and hopefully prevent them from killing each other, essentially. Why this specific blend of fish, Max? Well, there's no method to the madness, really. I mean, look at this guy. He's super dope and colourful. Kuhli Loaches, what can I say? They're super entertaining to watch. And Pea Puffers, look, they're like mini helicopters flying around your aquarium. And when they're eating, they're like little predators, man. So what do we think so far? I mean, I'm pretty fucking chuffed with it. Everything was put in here for a reason. The fish, the snails, the elements. I've got plants, I've got leaves, I've got branches, I've got everything that should make this aquarium flourish over time, grow beneficial bacteria, and provide an incredible ecosystem. Now, this is it. It was simple, it didn't take long, and it was essentially free. I mean, I bought a couple plants, they were $3 each, and I bought 2 fish. But I didn't have to. I could have made everything else, and I did. So could you do this? Yeah, you could. You see, I'm not an expert, and I'm learning like a lot of you fish keepers out there. You see, I love fish, and I just want them to have a dope environment that might mimic something like they would encounter in the wild. I just want them to be happy, healthy, and hopefully thrive. So that's it. Pretty simple. Wasn't hard at all. Now let's watch this Clown Killi swim away off into the distance. So I'm going to leave you with this fish flake and this Kuhli Loach. And this Kuhli Loach is eating this fish flake. You see these guys are scroungers, they're bottom dwellers, they are scavengers, but super dope. So, this is it. This is how I transformed a super basic aquarium into something a little bit more special, a little bit more unique. You know, taking a piece of nature and putting it in my kitchen. I'm MaxtheGrot. Stay tuned for the next one.